Hello, my name is Esther and I'm just going to be showing you all of the games I created for Northeastern University's course, Game Engine Fundamentals. I'm just going to show you a little bit about each game and I will briefly just talk about each of them. The only upload I have for the very first game I created is called Triangle Hunter. We created the game Pong with a tutorial and just had to do a bit of a spin-off with that. Okay, very simple game. There's something wrong that happened with the upload. As you can see, the UI got shifted a bit, and this is before I knew that you could tie the two together, so they are separate. When you lose, you get a restart button, and you can see that there are enemy prefabs that spawn, and if you hit them, you get an increase in your score. If your ball falls below this boundary here, you will lose a point. Okay, on to the next game. So this is my midterm, version 1. The game was called Shapeshooter. I've uploaded a full video about this game, but you can see here the very first iteration of this. I am pressing spacebar to shoot, WASD to move, and you can see that you cannot kill enemies or win. You have health and you do lose it if you get hit, but you can break free and lose more health. Can't win, basically. There's only 2 enemies. If we restart, the health goes back to 2, and that's that. If you lose, you do get a little screen that says you lose, but disappears very quickly. So you can't win this game. Here's version 2 of the midterm. You can see now there are collisions. You can kill that enemy. Oh, it looks like this upload had some issues. So there actually is an enemy right now pushing the player, but I think something's happening. It's a very broken upload, so I'm pretty sure there's an enemy pushing the player right now, but you can shoot the ones that are visible. I think I forgot to make the enemy active in the Unity scene, so actually there is one I just forgot to make it visible in the layer. There is UI for the health, but again, you can't lose. There's no restart. It's very broken. Here's version 3. I re-uploaded it twice, so hopefully this one showcases what I want to show. There's a start screen now with UI. Health score. These 2 hexagons are prototypes of the power-up that eventually I add. Enemies now spawn, which is great. You can kill them. But you still can't. Oh yes, you can aim with J, K, L, and I, which was a very odd choice because I didn't know how to change it to the arrow keys, and spacebar is how you shoot. So you aim with J, K, I, L, shoot with space, move with WASD, and you can pick these up, but they don't do anything. Now let's see if there's a game over screen. Yes, there is. I'm pretty sure you can lose health. Yes, you can go below 0. But you can play again. And the enemies should stop spawning. It's just that one there. Okay. Here is version 4. You can see I added new assets. These are all assets I used in this game are free from the UnityPlay store. Or sorry, the Unity Asset Store. They're all free. I didn't license or buy any of them. You can find them basically by looking up like spaceship or just space in the search bar. And so the bullets, the player sprite, and the background are all assets I got, as well as the animations for the deaths. When the enemies die, there's animations right there. Those are not mine either. The controls are the same. Aim with JKIL, like this. Shoot with spacebar. And move with WASD. Now the power-up works, which is called the bomb power-up. If you use it, just space, it'll kill all the enemies. It should kill all the enemies in the area. Oh, sorry. In this version, you have to press F to kill them all. And there was a glitch with the color transition, which is why it looked like I didn't have it anymore, but just press F and you'll kill them all. I'll show you the game over screen. There it is. You can still go below 0. You can get into the negatives, but all the enemies stop and everything. You can't move. I think the bomb power-ups still spawn them. Alright, and this is the final version, which I made a whole video about, but I will briefly show that as well. Now the player model is a cross per the suggestion of my professor, Professor J. He said it would look a bit better if it's this shape so there's no weird animation when you aim in different directions. Now you have instructions as well. WSD. Now aiming is with the arrow keys because I finally figured that out. And all the power-ups are with spacebar, so you don't have to use F at all. And some instructions. You can go back and press start. So now I'm using the arrow keys, and I'm just holding the arrow keys down to shoot. I don't have to use JKIL, and I don't have to use F at all. When I have a power-up, I will use space. I'll show it to you when it shows up. There it is. This is the power-up. So go over it, and use it, and you can kill all the enemies on screen. And there's no more color glitching, which is great. So if I get hit by an enemy, like that, while I have the power-up, it should work normally. I'll show you. So I have the power-up here, red, back to yellow. All the enemies on screen are killed with spacebar. Okay. I get hit, and it's game over. And my health would no longer go below negative. It will always be 0, and that's it. Nothing else should spawn or anything like that. Okay, that's my midterm project. Now I will show you my final project, which I should have opened the links before, but you're going to see me scroll through this. Version 1, version 2, version 2.2, version 3.1, this is 3.2, and version 4. So version 1, I was really working on this for a game jam, and the theme was cells. So you have a timer up here, which is really small for some reason. And this upload actually isn't the first version of my game, but it's the first upload of my game. So you move with WASD. You change state with the arrow keys, left and right. The up and down arrow keys don't do anything, but you can change state with the arrow keys. And nothing else. You can collide with these enemies, they're just prototype, but they don't, nothing happens to them right now. And I made this very basic course for me to test the game in, and I just uploaded that. That's version 1. Version 2. Now we have a start menu with instructions. As for white blood cell, it's your job to kill all the pathogens. So again, this is based on the game jam theme of cells. And basically you touch it to eliminate. What you're supposed to do is do rock, paper, scissors. So if you're in state A, you get a speed boost from killing enemies in state B. If you're in state B, you get a speed boost from killing enemies in state C. And if you're in state C, you can get a speed boost from killing enemies in state A. For any incorrect interaction, including hitting an enemy of the same type, you will lose speed. So that's that penalty I say here. You incur a penalty if you're not suited in the right state to attack it. The controls are WSD, and to use the ability is the spacebar. I didn't say how to switch between states, which I should have done, but I was planning on making it so that you can't manually switch states with the arrow keys, so that's why I didn't include that. I created a one-way wall, so players can't go backwards, and more obstacles. So you can see the zones below, that's what I was working on down there. I haven't included them yet though. So now if you touch an enemy, they should disappear and you will potentially gain or lose speed. So in that interaction just there, A to B, you should gain speed. So every time I hit B, I should gain speed. It's a bit hard to tell, but it should be working. If I hit any of them that are the same or an incorrect one, I should lose speed. You might be able to see it. I forget if yeah, I'm moving a bit slower. It's a bit hard to tell. I had to tweak the numbers a lot, but you do lose speed, as you can see. I'm quite slow now. And again, this is the one way, so I can go like that. And I can still switch states with the arrow keys, state B. All the different states have different abilities. So in state B, this is a speed reduction. This would be a speed increase. Or sorry, that's speed reduction as well. If I'm C, I want to hit A. I killed all the A's, but let's restart here. There's no way to win this game so far in this version. Speed increase. This would be a speed. This would be a speed increase. And this would be a speed increase. Each state has a different ability. A can dash. So they'll gain a brief boost in speed by pressing spacebar. In state B, they are supposed to be like splitting like a cell. And you can rotate using B. Or sorry, you can rotate using the spacebar. And in state C, you're supposed to be able to negate all the speed loss if you have an incorrect interaction. So C is supposed to get a speed boost from A, but let's say I don't do that, and I hit B, or I hit C. If you're shielding, which is the ability, you can negate the speed decrease. But there's no visual for it right now, it's all in the console, so the code, in my code it should say you're shielding and you won't receive any speed reduction, but there's no UI to demonstrate that. You just have to understand that it's working. Yeah, there's no visual for it. But you can switch between them, and yeah, that's the course so far. So this is version 3. Sorry, this is version 2.2. You can see here I kept this the same, and I added the zones now. So you can't change state by the arrow keys. You have to be in the correct zone. Speed increase, speed increase. That's a speed decrease, increase. We have this UI down here that's supposed to show you. So I want C to speed up. Let's see if I can get max speed. You might not be able to in this course. I don't remember. No, I don't believe you can get the max speed. But if you get the max speed, it will show up here. And if you get the slowest speed, it will also show. So let's just try and hit everything and see if I can get the slowest speed. I don't think so. I don't think I put enough enemies in the track to show that. But yeah. So you can rotate. The shield now has the UI. Sorry, the visual. So when I press space, you can see the shield is there, and there's a cooldown for every ability. So you can't just spam it. I'm pressing it, and then now the cooldown is good. So I can use it again. And that's what's different in this version. Here is version 3.1. I think I made the most changes between 2 and 3, so you will see a huge improvement in what I uploaded. So now we actually have a course, the tutorial course. It's not just that circle I made. The instructions have a panel. I didn't size it correctly, but it's the same instructions. And we start. There's now a countdown where you can't do anything, and then once it starts, you go. I have instructions, space to dash. So this is the tutorial course, like I said. It's supposed to teach you the mechanics. I tried to add this ring here as a visual to show you which one you're supposed to target when in that state. So we follow this. We go around here. Wrong enemies lose speed. So if I hit this or this, I will lose speed. Let's see if I can hit them all so I can show you that UI. Oops, well, I guess we might just go fastest speed. Let's try to get the fastest speed. How's that? Press to rotate. And I'm not going to press space, so let's try and get the fastest speed here. There we go, maximum speed, so you can see up here. But what I want you to do when you go through this section is basically to activate the shield to negate all the speed loss. So I can just basically fly through this. It doesn't matter what I hit because I will retain my speed. And that's the end of that course. So I'll show you again real fast. This one actually gets a bit longer. I also have UI at the bottom to show you the ability that you can use when in that state. So this is the dash. Let's see if I can show you the slowest speed. Try to just avoid everything. You can see how slow I can get. Just this way. This is the rotate ability. Right now you don't actually have to. There's a collision issue that I never got to solve, so you don't really have to rotate, but you're supposed to be able to. Oops. And then I'm just gonna fly through this and see if I can get a very slow speed to demonstrate how slow you can actually go. Slow speed. So see, this is very slow. Okay, and it's supposed to show you a time. It's not recording it properly in this version, but it's up here in the corner. This is version 3.2, and this is the version I uploaded for the actual game jam. So we had guests come and play our game, and this is the version that I showed them. Here are the controls. Back. You can restart at any time. And I'm going to play the course from start to finish. I also made a video all about this game as well. And this version, not this version of the game, but I made a whole video about the final version. But you can kind of see what it looked like before that upload. So I'm just going to play it normally here. Now it's recording your time. We have 2 more courses. I'm just gonna fly through those. Again, I did more in-depth conversation about this version, so I will direct you to that video to watch instead. There are shortcuts in this track, but I'm not going to take them. There's a big wall that's spinning here. There it is. And a trigger for the door to disappear. I'm not trying very hard, of course, to get a speed, but you'll see that everything resets upon a new course. There's 3 pathways in this track. I'll just take the middle one, I guess. The track didn't change between this version and the final version, so I'll show you the other 2 when I play this. So this is the middle track, and I hit the door trigger at the end. So you will see there's 3 more paths. I open the door here. So I'm just zoom to the end. And for some reason, there is an indication that there's a finish line here, but it didn't really show up in the upload for some reason. Okay, that's that version, and here is the final version, version 4. Now you don't get the choice. You don't get a choice of seeing the instructions. You have to see the instructions, which is a great fix. The goals of the game are more clear because people were confused about that, and people were collecting every single enemy or killing every single enemy, but you don't have to do that. I want to make that clear. Move with WSD and use the ability that has a cooldown. Now you can see your speed as a value, and it will increase. You didn't see that because I was dashing while I picked it up, but there will be a visual indication with color and what else when you go over an enemy. Now there are also one-way walls, like I showed earlier in an earlier version, so you cannot go backwards through the course. Now it's more clear when you when you kill a correct enemy versus when you don't hit a correct enemy. You can see my speed increase or decrease depending on what I'm choosing. There's still technically a collision issue with the children of this player, but it's a little bit better. I tried to fix it, but it's not perfect. Again, I go a little more in depth about that in the video. So for now, I'll just zoom through. And again, you can't go backwards, so only forward. Add more text here just to make it clear that you're supposed to be going through this as fast as possible. This is course 2, and I'll show you the shortcut this time. I avoided it last time. But we can go through here. And here's the other shortcut, which you cannot go backwards. And it will also indicate when you are at max speed or slow speed. I also made the arrows more clear, so you know which way to go. And I labeled this time, so it says door switch. And I can just fly through this. So see, you won't lose any speed when the shield is active. There's no indication, and you won't lose speed. Alright, I'll take the left path this time, just to show you what that looks like. It's kind of a maze through here, but you can just kind of go to left. Each path has a door switch for the same door. So here's this one on this side. I'll touch it again. So now you can actually see that that was this door here. And again, you just go through the middle and then at the end. I'm going to play it one more time so I can show you the right area, and that'll be that. So I'm just going to breeze through this as fast as possible. I'm trying my best to make the UI a bit more clear for people visually. There's a lot to look at the lower right and the upper left, but they're meant to just be reminders of what you can do and whatnot. Just a word of advice for anyone who's going to make a game where you can collect things. You technically aren't collecting them, you're killing the pathogens, but people consider it collecting. Kind of like Pac-Man, because there's the inspiration. But basically, you know, if you make them brightly colored, and even if you don't want people to collect them all, people will, anything that's collectible, people will try and collect them. So just be careful when you're making a game. I found that I didn't want everybody to kill every single pathogen, so you can just avoid them, but people were going back through the course like this to try and collect them all, even if it was detrimental to them, because they didn't know. So if you're going to make a game where you collect stuff, just be careful about that. Okay, I'll show you the last side. Oh, I just realized the ability's not... Okay, it's the cooldown. Sorry about that. I forgot I had a cooldown. So this course here is spinning walls. It's a big open area with spinning walls. The door switch is right here, but I won't hit it just to show you what it looks like when you don't. So we go up to the top, and now there's a wall. There's a door. So normally you just go around left or right, doesn't matter which. And it takes more time to get to the end. And that's that. Those are all of my games I created. I don't have any earlier uploads of the very first one, so I'm sorry I can't show you the progress of that. But it was basically working off of Pong. A tutorial of Pong, so there's not much to say about that. Anyways, this was just a showcase of my progress through all 3 projects from this class. So thank you very much. You are feel free to play these games yourself if you want. Again, any assets that I used were not mine. I didn't buy them, so they're free to use. Thank you very much.